Друзі, в мене сьогодні просто дуже велика удача, тому що ми будемо спілкуватися із Беном Райлі, CEO компанії Young Living. І для мене це величезна честь, тому що саме з Беном ми вже знайомі 4 роки, і кожного разу, коли ми зустрічаємося, це завжди дуже така тепла зустріч, де він дуже радий мені, особисто я можу сказати про себе, і завжди підтримує Україну, українську команду. І сьогодні я хочу поділитися з вами дуже такою, можна сказати, ексклюзивною новиною. Тому що я запросила Бена до України, і він сказав так. I'm explaining that I invite you to Ukraine.
I guess. Yeah.
What do you think about this?
Well, first of all, I'm sorry to say I've never been to Ukraine.
Yeah.
And I've always wanted to go, so I'm very excited. And most of all, I really want to really honor the work that you and all of our Ukrainian brand partners are doing. It's inspiring to me and to our people, all of our people. When you build a business, there are lots of obstacles, but most people don't have a war as part of that obstacle, which is significant. And so it's inspiring to see the great, incredible way you're still helping other people, supporting teams. And I think now more than ever, especially with what Ukraine is going through, is a time to be together. And it's inspiring to see for the entire world how Ukraine is standing strong and united. And I have a lot of respect for the country, the people, and what you're doing. So we really honor our Ukrainian brand partners and are really grateful for you.
Yeah. Ben, thank you very much for supporting Ukrainian team, especially when the war started. Young Living gone from Russia. Thank you so much for this step, because a lot of people from my team went from doTERRA because of this. And for us, it's very important. Could you explain a little bit why you made this step?
Well, we believe that the war is unjust. We feel that Ukraine is a sovereign nation with established boundaries and borders, and that the Russian aggression is unlawful, and we don't support it. So unfortunately, we don't have any influence in what the decisions are made in Russia, but we do have the ability to, I think, do the right thing. And for us, this was the right thing. We did have a business in Russia, and I feel for our Russian brand partners, many of them didn't decide to start a war, but nevertheless, their country is at war with Ukraine, and it was the only way that we could say we're not supportive of this war. We don't think it's just. And so, unfortunately, it's a small thing for us, but it's something that we can do as a way to show solidarity to Ukraine, and also, I think, to the rest of the world, say this is what we believe.
Could you explain, please, your way in Young Living? Because for me, it was very interesting, your story.
Yeah, so my story...
Why Young Living?
So I had an interesting journey with Young Living. I first started with Young Living in 1998, which is a long time ago now.
Yeah.
I was a young man just in university. And Young Living moved into my hometown. They were at my old middle school where I went to school. And I needed some work because I was going to college. And so I started working in their warehouse, the late shift. So from 4 p.m. until midnight, I would go to the warehouse and pick products, and I would go to school during the day. But I quickly fell in love with Young Living products. It's a unique company. And just like all of us, when we come across it and we get a chance to experience it, we realize it resonates with who we are. And Young Living resonated with me. I started to learn a lot about our essential oils, especially. Back then, essential oils were quite new to me and not very common, not very mainstream. And so I learned some really amazing things about oils and found that they seemed almost magical, actually, with what they could do. And so I fell in love with oils and fell in love with Young Living's products in general. I graduated from college and went off and lived overseas. So I lived in South Korea, Taiwan, Australia for a long time, about 14 years. And I moved back to the US in 2014. Shortly after that, I was introduced or recruited by a friend of mine who was at Young Living to go back to Young Living. So In 2016, I rejoined Young Living in their sales organization and became the chief sales officer. And then in 2019, left Young Living for a variety of reasons, but personal reasons, but was able to come back in 2022 in my current role. So this company's been in my life for now almost 30 years, and it means a lot to me. It's my family.
2 years, it's when Young Living was born.
Yes. Yeah. So I started 4 years after. So about 27 years since I started with Young Living. But it's more than a company. It's a community. It's a family. It's obviously products that change people's lives, but even more, it's empowerment. You know, it's giving people choice and options, especially those who don't have great choice and options in life, as well as a group of people that are beautiful people. They believe what I believe. They share my values. And that's true. Like I meet people from Ukraine. I meet people from all over the world. And even though we come from different places, we speak different languages, we're all tied together. We're knit.
In how many countries people can buy products?
So you can buy products in over 100 countries. We ship all over the world. We're open in almost 30 countries. If you count Europe, of course, more than that, more like 40 or 50. But yeah, we have a big footprint all over the world, very big in Asia, Europe. And Europe is one of our fastest growing regions right now. It's a very exciting place to be. And of course, this is just the beginning. You know, we're in Ukraine, we're just beginning. It's an exciting time to be with Young Living because even though we're 30 years old, in your area of the world, we're very new. And so that's a lot of opportunity, and I'm excited about our future there. I think in the future, Ukraine will be one of our biggest and best countries.
It was my dream to open a Young Living office in Ukraine. What would we need?
Oh, that's a great question. Well, first of all, I'm been really inspired by you. When we first met, I think we may have met before, but I remember spending time with you in Italy for the Italian cruise that you had earned.
Yeah.
And I was very impressed.
First time I was in Hawaii.
Hawaii
21.
2021. I wasn't there. Anyway, that was your first. First time I spent time with you was Italy in 2022. Yeah. And I knew that you were building in Ukraine, but also it was a difficult time to build in Ukraine. Yeah. And I've been so impressed.
I was alone.
You were alone.
Yeah.
Just you.
Yes.
That's right. And now you're here with leaders.
Yes.
I see your leaders everywhere we go. I've seen you in South Africa. Yeah. I've seen you in, here in Utah. I saw you at Gold Retreat in Spokane, Washington. It feels like I'm seeing you, but also your people, your team in London, in Spain, all over the world. And it's really inspiring to see how you're building this business, but even more helping other people, helping them to believe in on their journey as well. And it's really special. And I just really admire you and appreciate your leadership. So to get an office in Ukraine, it's really just about having a large enough business footprint where it makes sense for us to establish a physical presence. There's no firm number. We have a broad number in our minds of what that would look like. But Ukraine is growing a lot. And right now at this rate, I would say you're going to give us a good reason to have an office in Ukraine. Usually about $1 million or more in sales would give us a reason to create more established infrastructure. So that's a kind of a broad guide. As well as we look at what's the best experience. How can we provide the best experience to our Ukrainian brand partners? Okay. So where it makes sense with an office, that's when we would say it's time to establish a presence in Ukraine.
Okay. So hope soon.
Yeah. Well,
I have a big plan.
Yes. I know you do.
Yeah, my plan to make platinum in 2 months, and in 1 year diamond.
In November. Platinum or December?
I would like November, but we'll see. Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah. I would like to talk about opportunities for Ukrainian people. Mm-hmm. Could you explain, please, the first steps and how much money they can earn and what the opportunity they have to make business with young people?
That's a good question. This is something I love about our business, is for a relatively small investment, and that's about, let's say, €200, right, depending. You can start your business. Yeah. And that $200 or €200 investment.
It's not investment, it's just buy products for myself.
Well, that's the thing is worst case scenario, you have products that are really great products. You get value back. But even more, you're opening up opportunity. And the great thing about the Young Living business is it has an enormous amount of upside. So if you wanted to start a business, usually let's say you want to start a franchise. Most of the time you have to have €100,000 or more to launch a franchise. Usually more, usually close to €500,000 to start a business. And then rent office, there's lots of overhead, you have people, exactly. With a Young Living business, you invest €200, you get the products, like you said, products you're going to use. If you like the products. The best products. I mean, products that have changed our lives. And with those products, if I like them, I can go and share. And the more I share, the more I help other people. And the more they enjoy and experience the products. And in the end, the more my business ultimately grows. And we have people, Young Living, who make, you can look at our income disclosure statement, but millions of dollars a year with Young Living, and that's profit. They're not paying staff, they're not paying inventory or anything else. It's just bottom line income to you and your family. So I think it's the best business in the world that can start small and grow really big. For a small amount of investment, you have an enormous amount of upside. And I think that's, for any entrepreneur, that's a really attractive opportunity.
Could you tell us a little bit about Gary Young? Because I think it's a heart of Young Living, and it's very important to people, let them know about Gary Young from you.
So, of course, I met Gary in 1998 when I first started at Young Living, so I knew him for quite some time. He was one of a kind. I think there were a few things that were special about Gary. The first thing is he didn't care what people thought about him. And in those days, it was important because people thought essential oils were weird. They didn't know about them, first of all, but if they did, they thought they didn't know what it was, and they thought it was kind of kooky. And Gary knew. He knew what he had. He knew it was powerful because he'd had his own experience with it. And so he never cared about what other people said. He didn't care about their opinions. He knew what was important to him. He knew what his life's purpose was, and he stayed true to that purpose regardless of whether or not people thought it was the right purpose or not. And through the years, a lot of people made fun of him or didn't understand. And in the end, I think we can say that Gary is right. You fast forward to 30 years, and the number of people whose lives have been changed because of essential oils, and the way of essential oils have become mainstream. You can find essential oils almost everywhere now, and that's because of Gary. But the other thing I say about Gary that was really special is he was, so I'll tell you a story, and this kind of, I think, explains a little bit about who Gary was. So Gary had a logging accident when he was in his 20s, which was very serious, almost killed him. And it was when he was laying in his hospital bed he was there for almost a year, trying to recover. And because of the seriousness of his accident, he started to really study health and wellness. And it was through that journey he began to study essential oils. He found out about essential oils and became very intrigued with oils. And from that point on, he was on a mission. For about a decade before we started Young Living, Gary was studying and learning oils, and he did it all over the world. He went to Mexico, which has more liberal medical laws where he could do more research, and did a lot of research there, then brought it back here to the U.S., ultimately started to sell essential oils out of an office in Spokane, Washington, which is why we have gold retreat in Spokane. But he fell in love with oils and knew that he had something special for his own health. But then once he experienced it himself, he realized that others needed to have oils in their lives as well. And so he started trying to promote oils, but was having a hard time getting them out to people. And it was about that time he met Mary Young, whom he later married and ultimately built Young Living with. And Mary came from a direct sales background. She had a successful business with another company, and she knew that she could help Gary get his oils to people. And so between the two of them, Gary's knowledge and passion for oils, and Mary's knowledge and passion for sharing and person-to-person educating and selling, she and Gary worked together to build the marketing plan, the marketing tools, as well as obviously the products. and they started Young Living together in 1994. And here we are, fast forward 31 years later, and are a multinational, very large organization because of that decision they made 31 years ago. But I want to hear about your Oman story. Remind me what it is. Gary was always, we call him a trailblazer. He didn't take a beaten path. Trailblazer means he would create the trail, right? He didn't walk on a path others had walked. He created his own. And he was very fearless when he did it. When I was, before Gary passed away, I went snowmobiling with Gary. Gary loved to have adventures. And on a snowmobile, he would do some crazy things, do scary things, right? Things that were very intimidating. And after we went snowmobiling for a day, I said to him, Gary, you're different. You just don't feel fear. And he stopped me when I said that. He said, that's not true. I do feel fear. I just don't let it get in the way of the things that I want. And that's the way he lived his life. So the story you're talking about with Oman, Gary would go places no one else would go because Gary was on a mission. And he never let fear stop him from doing something that was important to him. So in the case of Oman, he wanted sacred frankincense, some would argue the most powerful essential oil, and certainly, it's called sacred frankincense for a reason. It's been used for thousands of years, indigenous to Oman, and frankincense is really unique. It only grows in certain areas of the world in certain climates with certain attributes. And Oman is the epicenter of sacred frankincense. And so when Gary had something he wanted, he would go and be tireless in chasing it. So he went to Oman and for years was on this journey of trying to find a way to sustainably source frankincense. And that's the other thing, is he would only do it sustainably. So it had to be done the seed to seal way, and that was not easy to find. But what Gary always realized is when he would explain what he was doing, he would find people that would help him on that journey. And ultimately, he met a gentleman named Dr. Suhail, who will be at the Vienna, I think he's going to the Vienna Convention. And Dr. Suhail had expertise with sacred frankincense, both sourcing but also with research. And so we've learned an enormous amount of really amazing things about sacred frankincense, so much so that is now continuing to this day. And you see it in things like our deep spectra frankincense, which is now to this point, I believe, the most powerful frankincense compound in the world. So
it's really good.
It's
because I use it every day.
Mm-hmm.
It's like unique product.
And I've seen some of the research that we have on deep spectra frankincense, or frankincense squared, we call it, and it's incredible. It's a product everyone should take every day for preventative reasons, and I'm not going to talk not a lot more about that, but I know the research, and if you see the research, you will know what I mean. You'll know why it's important. But anyway, so Gary would just go all over the world to source and find the best botanicals, and he would stop at nothing to do it. So sacred frankincense is an example. Rosewood is another. And I could give many, many more examples where Gary was the first to bring an essential oil to the market, where either it hadn't existed before or was not widely available. To this day, in fact, he created blends that now are copied by companies all over the world, including the company you mentioned before, doTERRA. They took all of their, tried to replicate their blends from what Gary created. That was the origin. So at Young Living, we're really passionate about it. We have... I don't know the exact number because it's always changing off the top of my head, but we have over 100 singles of single botanicals and that many or more blends, especially if you count the convention blends and other blends that we've done through the year. So you're talking about hundreds of singles and blends of essential oils, and these blends are proprietary. So People, for instance, Thieves is a blend that everyone tries to copy, but it's unique. Yeah. Gary found the blend for Thieves essential oil by actually going to Europe, and going to, I believe it was in Spain that he actually found the library where he discovered the formula for Thieves essential oil. And Thieves, if you know the story, was an essential oil that they used, the grave robbers would use during the Black Plague, which was very dangerous, and the only way that they were able to not get the plague themselves was to use Thieves. So it's a very powerful compound. And so Gary did all the research through the antiquities, found the blend, and he's the only one who's ever been able to replicate that blend, even though others have tried. So We have the original. We've got the passion for it. I don't think anyone else cares as much about essential oils as we do. And that is shown best by the fact that we own farms around the world. This week we've been to our Mount Nebo farm. That farm, we distill a number of things. Clary sage, lavender are the two most popular botanicals we do there. But one that I think I'm really proud of is the juniper essential oil. And juniper is an invasive species in the state of Utah. Western juniper. It's a great oil, but we have more trees than we should have. And so we have a partnership with the state of Utah where they've asked for us to remove juniper. It helps the ecology of the state. So we cut down juniper, we chip it, we distill it, and we create oil from that juniper. And we create a healthier ecosystem for the state of Utah. And this is something we do around the world. Anywhere we go, we do it sustainably.
Yeah, I've been to Hawaii and it's the same.
Hawaii is a reforestation.
Yeah.
So that's our sandalwood farm, and you have to reforest sandalwood, and because sandalwood is a parasitic tree, it needs a host. So we're planting both sandalwood, but also koa trees and other trees that sustain the sandalwood. So again, we replant and replenish the earth. We replant we're constantly planting and increasing our trees in Northern Lights, in Highland Flats.
Two plants. So it was Hawaiian tree.
Yep.
Not
Koa?
Sandalwood.
Sandalwood.
It was
Yep.
sandal.
Yep.
And some I don't remember
Yeah.
which tree.
Usually a koa tree, but there are others that you can plant together.
I was impressed that Jan Levin didn't cut sandal. You're waiting for the tree die.
Yeah, we let the tree go through the course of its natural life, and when the tree dies, that's when we distill. The same is true of Palo Santo.
Yeah.
So Palo Santo is a cousin to frankincense, but in South America. It is just like frankincense. It's spiritual for its people, and it's powerful. But we grow, or we have a lot of indigenous Palo Santo trees in our farm in Ecuador, the Finca Botanica. And we likewise wait for that tree to tip over on its side, so it has a shallow root structure. You've not been to Ecuador yet?
Not
Okay, well, you'll see this.
Yeah.
And it's really beautiful. So the root structure, when there's a heavy rain, eventually the tree's too big for the root structure and it tips over. Once it tips over, then we let it sit even still for a few more years, and we get the best oil after it's settled. Then we chip and distill, but we let it happen in the natural course of the tree. So we do this around the world. Another one that we do sustainably that I'm really proud of is rosewood. So rosewood goes into the Valor blend and a number of other blends. It's a beautiful oil. It's indigenous to the Amazon jungle, and we historically wildcrafted it. In around 2015, 2014, I was listed on the CITES list, which means it was considered endangered. So because it was endangered, we had to formulate it out of all of the blends that we had rosewood in. But we didn't stop there. We went around the Brazil, Peru, the Amazon countries and areas, and looked for a place that we could farm rosewood. And we actually found a local family farm that grows rosewood in Brazil, and we were able to cut the leaves and branches from rosewood and distill the leaves and branches. So it doesn't harm the tree, it's sustainable. And now by buying Valor, for instance, we actually plant more and propagate rosewood. So we take it from endangered to unendangered, right? So we actually help it to be more successful as a species. There's so many ways that we can create this symbiosis, this partnership with the earth. And because we're taking botanicals from the earth, we have to give back. It has to be fully sustainable. And as a business, that's what Seed to Sale is about. That's the way Gary did it. I told a story this week about my own personal experience with Gary Young. The very first time I met him was in the early 1990s when he asked if he could grow botanicals in between the rows of trees of my family farm, a fruit farm. Mm-hmm. And we could have done it, but unfortunately we at the time used herbicides and pesticides with our farming. And that's not clean, that's not Seed to Seal, not organic. And so Gary said, unfortunately, that wouldn't work. And it's that level of standard that Gary set at the beginning, and we continue to this day, that means that when you buy an essential oil, you know you're getting the best.
Yes.
We just don't cut corners, and you can see it in our testing, but most of all, you can see it in our farms. If you see how we wildcraft, or we hand weed, or we just go the extra degree to make sure that the very best oil gets in the bottle that goes to your family, that's what makes me really proud of who we are at Young Living.
I was also impressed about bees and sheep, and
All of it.
it was really impressive.
Well, I can talk more about that if you'd like.
Yes, please.
Okay, so a couple of things we do is first of all, we've created Monarch Way Station. So the Monarch butterfly is a beautiful butterfly. And unfortunately, as the United States, Canada, and Mexico become more populated, there's less and less habitat for the monarch butterfly. And that's especially problematic because they have a particular diet. They have to have milkweed. Without milkweed, they can't nourish themselves and they can't propagate. They can't lay eggs and therefore get caterpillars that become the next generation of monarch butterflies. And they're endangered today. The population's dropped dramatically here. So what we do, because we have farms in Idaho, Utah, Ecuador, we've built this Monarch Way Station, this path for monarch butterflies. So here in Mount Nebo, Highland Flats, all the way up to Canada, we plant these milkweed habitats so that monarch butterflies have a way to get from Mexico, because they're migratory. They go all the way up to Canada from Mexico and back down to Mexico. It's 1,000 miles, more than 1,000 miles, or a few thousand kilometers. And so we've created this pathway for the monarch butterfly because we have the land that goes along their path. So we've done that. That doesn't do anything for our oils. It's just good for the butterflies and good for the ecology, the environment. Another thing we do you talked about was sheep. Yeah. So we don't use, of course, we don't use any herbicides. We don't spray weeds. We do hand weed, but that's a lot of work. So we've also found that sheep can be a very powerful ally for us. They don't like lavender, but they like the weeds that grow around lavender. So what we do is we have herds of sheep that will go up and down our lavender, and they eat all the weeds. And of course, they also will consume the weeds, and then they defecate, and that helps to further fertilize our lavender. And so it's again a very beautifully symbiotic relationship. The last one I'll mention are our pollination, our native pollinators project. So growing up on a farm myself, we used to bring in honeybees as a way to pollinate our trees.
It's my favorite honey.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful, beautiful.
4 years I didn't buy any honey, only Young Living.
The lavender honey is beautiful, clove.
It's like with milk.
Yes, it's beautiful. But we've also learned that by encouraging and propagating native pollinators. So in Utah, we have over 100 different types of bees. Some are honeybees, but some are not. Some don't live in hives. Some live in the ground. Some are solitary. Some are communal. They're all very different. But they are important for this ecology. And they're very effective in pollinating plants that are indigenous to this area. And so we've created habitats for those native pollinators. And because of our practices, we've been able to test our pollination counts. And we've got some really encouraging studies that show that we have much higher levels of pollination on our properties than do neighboring properties, again, because of our sustainability practices. We're farmers first. And it's because of the farms you're getting the best, because you can go and see it. You can touch it. You can put your hands in the soil and know exactly where your oils are coming from. And Gary used to always say, you don't know your oil if you don't know your soil. Yeah. That's where it comes from. So that's always been a passion project for us at Young Living.
I would like to show you Ukraine also, because Ukraine is very beautiful nature, and especially earth, maybe about this.
So I remember learning about Ukraine in school, and especially that it's what we called the breadbasket for Eastern Europe. Ukraine fed most of Russia, feeds a lot of Eastern Europe because of the fertile soil. And you likewise are farmers. How important it is to have good soil and good ground. And so I would love to come to Ukraine to see it firsthand. I know it's a beautiful country.
It's a second, my goal to have a farm in Ukraine.
Yes. I like it. Good goals. Yeah.
Yeah. So, could you tell something for Ukrainian people, just from you, from Jan Living?
Yeah. Well, I just want to, first of all, thank you for being a part of our Young Living family. We're a big global family, and we can't be global, and we can't truly be a family without Ukraine. And so we're really grateful for you understanding who we are, being a part of our community and family, sharing our values. And I think of you often because I can only imagine the hardship that many of you are facing right now. It surely is a very difficult time, and I speak to our Ukrainian leaders, and I know that they go through a lot of hard things and hard times. But I also really admire and appreciate what you're doing standing up for what's right, standing up for freedom, standing up for your ability to be a sovereign nation, to not be bullied by a foreign aggressor. And for me, that's my heart. I really want to support Ukraine however I can because I admire that. And I can only do a little bit on my part, but I want to do my part too. I stand with Ukraine, and I stand with all of you. And so I want you to know that our hearts and our prayers are with you now and will be until the conflict is over. We know that Ukraine is strong. The people are strong, and we believe in you. So be strong, be who you are, be part of our family, and we will have better days ahead.
Thank you so much. I would like to explain you a little bit about our needs, about our children, because I saw that Jan Living Foundation helps children, women, and we have a lot of people who needs really help, especially with psychologist problem, and we have a lot of people with pain because they don't have legs and arms. So, and also I know about I remember about freedom sleep and freedom release, and especially it was created for after war.
Yeah, the Freedom Kit was designed specifically for veterans because war is brutal, and it's not something that goes away, right? Like going through those experiences. So again, like I can only imagine some of the hardship in Ukraine, and at the same time we're watching and are inspired by it, inspired by the strength and by the resolve of the Ukrainian people. So I know we want to support, and I'm sure that there would be some things we could do with our foundation in partnership with needs in Ukraine, and I'd love to explore what some of those things could be.
So thank you so much. Друзі, я сподіваюся, що вам було так само цікаво, як і мені, тому що я дізналася ще більше класних історій, корисних, які робить Young Living. І це просто такі речі, які просто достойні поваги. І я дуже щаслива, що я маю можливість представляти буквально Young Living в Україні, бути лідером. І зараз у вас є можливість приєднатися і підтримувати цей шлях, ставати на цей шлях essential way. Я так називаю свою спільноту, це істинний шлях. Шлях підтримки свого емоційного, фізичного здоров'я, побудови спільноти і добробуту бізнесу. Тому приєднуйтесь.
Victoria and I are planning an event. I would like to invite all of you to be a part of it. I really am passionate about Ukraine and all of you, and would love to have a chance to meet and spend time with you. So we're planning an event for next May 2026.
Друзі, записуйте собі дату, фіксуйте буквально в свій календар. 1-3 травня 2026 року. Зустрічаємося всі, до нас приїздить Бен Райлі. До зустрічі. Thank you.